Right now on Denver 7 News at 5 o'clock, a Denver neighborhood rocked by a shooting investigation that spanned blocks.
We stepped outside to see what was going on and saw the bullet hole in the side of the house.
We are talking to neighbors about gun violence happening so close to their homes.
Lawmakers from both parties, meanwhile, are set to meet today to talk about gun reform after mass shootings recently in 3 different states. Our team in Washington is breaking down where Congress could find common ground.
And it's a moment the Avs have been waiting for years now, decades even, a trip to the Western Conference Finals. How the team is feeling ahead of tonight's next challenge in their quest for the Stanley Cup. In a series that will feature 2 of the best players in the game right now.
Wow.
The Avs, Nate McKinnon, and the Oilers, Connor McDavid, should be fun to watch. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. It's, the first week of summer here. Katie LaSalle, not feeling like it outside.
No, temperatures this morning were in the 40s, 20s, and low 30s into the mountains, and our daytime highs will be about 10 to 15 degrees below normal for this time in late May. But we will get back to the 80s, and that's on the 7-day. I'll show you that coming up. This morning it's 47 degrees right now in Centennial, up through Commerce City, out to Watkins, but only in the 20s and low 30s, just off to the west into many of our mountain towns. We'll stay dry for your wake-up forecast by noon at 49 degrees, but we are looking at a good chance for seeing more moisture arrive later on tonight. By 3 o'clock, we'll pick up some showers here for the Front Range. Better chance for more widespread rain for the evening commute right around 6 o'clock. Here's futurecast. More snow set to fall into the mountains above 10,000 feet. Could see 3 to 6 inches accumulate over our highest mountains, and then tonight into early tomorrow morning, some pockets of heavy rain over the northeastern plains. Welcome moisture for us, Jason.
Yeah, it'll be a lot different up in the high country today than it was yesterday, as we're looking at mostly dry roads, and it really is about the snowfall intensity at this time of year, which will dictate whether the snow sticks to the roadways or not, especially at the highest elevations, and not right now seeing any issues with any weather through Georgetown here, getting up to the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel. Take a look at the drive up in Boulder. They have most of the road restrictions. You still see some of the signs stuck around town, but for the most part, all the cones and restrictions have been picked up and moved out of the way for the drive or the ride around Boulder. Overall, you can see a lot of green out there anywhere you want to go, including to or from the airport. 10 minutes to drive out there. Security wait time has been anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes already this morning, but the drive around town looks fine.
Breaking overnight, 2 families are without a home right now after a condo complex fire in Aurora. This is at East Colorado Drive near I-225 and Jewel Avenue. No one was hurt, and the Red Cross is helping the families who were displaced. We don't know what started that fire.
Well, this morning we are learning new details about a shooting in Denver's Central Park neighborhood that stretched across multiple locations. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us this morning because people who live nearby say they're just shocked at how close the violence got to their homes.
Yeah, and we've learned that one of the bullets hit someone's house. Thankfully, though, no one inside the home was hurt. And here's what we know so far. That shooting started Sunday afternoon in the parking lot of the Central Park Rec Center off of MLK. Police say a teenage girl was involved in a fight with someone else, and there on that scene you could clearly see the evidence markers showing what happened. Neighbors say then she took off and another car followed her to 25th and Xenia, where neighbors say that they heard gunshots as those cars drove by, and at least one of those bullets flew into a home.
Sounded kind of like as if lightning struck the house and something electrical exploded, or like a firework hit the house. We were freaked. I was especially freaked because I spent like 6 hours on the porch the day before, so I was like just happy to be inside, I guess.
Neighbors say the violence came to an end near 26th and Akron, where the girl crashed her car and ran across the field in search of help. And a photo that was shared with us shows the car's back window completely blown out. The victim, who is a teenage girl, was injured, but she is expected to be okay. So far, we have not heard any word on any suspects or any arrests, but police are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Yeah, so scary. Several metro cities are taking steps to cut down on youth violence. Just last week, Aurora passed the Youth Violence Prevention Program, which expands partnerships with police, schools, mental health care providers, and other groups. Denver has had a similar program since 2019.
One funeral is awful enough, but the community of Uvalde, Texas will spend the next several days saying goodbye to victims of the Robb Elementary School shooting. This week, services are planned for 11 children and teacher Irma Garcia. Yesterday, there was a visitation at one of the city's funeral homes for 10-year-old Amory Jo Garza. She made the honor roll just hours before she was killed. And at the city's other funeral home, there was a visitation for 10-year-old Maite Rodriguez. Family members wore green tie-dye shirts showing the 10-year-old girl with angel wings. In the aftermath of the tragedy in Texas, as well as shootings in California and New York, a bipartisan group of lawmakers will meet today about passing new federal gun laws. Congress is not in session, so the members will meet over Zoom. Our Joe St. George takes a look at why this week is such a critical time to move on this.
When I drive around this country, I really feel just how divided we are. Democrats are saying one thing on guns.
When in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby?
Republicans another.
It's not effective. It doesn't prevent crime.
But after years of inaction and division on this issue, there really is this growing sense that something might soon change, either in Congress or at the Supreme Court. The catch? That change may be not what you're exactly thinking about.
This may be a moment when there's enough momentum.
Robin Thomas is executive director of the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence, one of the nation's leading voices on the issue. He says for the moment, it appears there is a genuine effort happening in Congress to pass something. One possible compromise is emerging around a nationwide red flag law, which would allow guns to be seized by law enforcement if an individual is deemed a threat. Already, 19 states have their own version of the law in the books. Republican Senator Rick Scott of Florida signed a version of it into law in Florida when he was governor, fueling optimism. This week, even though the Senate is not in Washington, is believed to be a critical one for negotiations.
One of the difficulties of this work in these situations is that it is in the immediate aftermath of these tragic events that people are paying attention.
But remember when I told you this country is divided?
Put this back up.
And that's why I stopped by one of the leading gun instructors in Northern California for perspective.
So this is a Springfield. This is a Winchester 30-30. This is just a model 1911, okay?
And that's where I met Harold Johnson. He lives in a state where there is already a red flag law. A new nationwide one doesn't upset him as much, but what does bother him are calls to ban AR-15s like the one he's holding.
Harold, a lot of people watching this will say that gun is responsible for a lot of deaths.
It's the person who did it. Anybody can go into a school without this rifle and they can use a handgun. They can come in with a dagger.
Harold, like many gun-owning Americans who don't want new laws, is actually hoping more guns might be allowed for protection soon on American streets. He's waiting on a Supreme Court ruling this month that could force cities in states like New York and California to issue more concealed carry permits. In those states, you have to show a need for one right now, and local governments often deny those requests. Last fall, San Francisco had just 2 active concealed carry permits in the entire city. I'm Joe St. George reporting.
Switching gears this morning, the Colorado Avalanche are now 8 wins away from hoisting the Stanley Cup, which is closer than they've been in a long time. The Avs will play Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight, taking on the Edmonton Oilers at Ball Arena. And the Avs hope the experience of being so close so many times before will now pay off.
The second round losses, but I felt like we were a better team each time we lost, if that makes any sense. And we're progressing and got a lot of leaders in the room now, so that helps a lot. We're not so young anymore. But obviously it's nice to finally break out a little bit and get closer to our goal here.
So the puck drops tonight at 6. If they win this series, they will play the winner of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Rangers or the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning. Hey, it was great to see all the crowds out of the Boulder yesterday cheering each other on.
Yeah.
And we do want to say congratulations to the winners.
Yeah, both the winners of the men's and women's citizen races are Colorado natives. Jacob White is from Littleton. He finished in 31 minutes and 13.94 seconds, outpacing the runner behind him by 5 seconds. And Laura Thweet grew up in Durango. She crossed the finish line at Folsom Field in about 35 minutes. Awesome. It makes me tired just watching these runners going so fast. Even if they look like they're going slow up that last hill up to the Folsom Field, Katie, it they're still running so fast. It's crazy to think.
And they were very close behind the pro racers' time. That's incredible. Congratulations to everyone who participated yesterday. What a fun and really pleasant event. In terms of our temperatures this morning, we're in the 40s right now, dry conditions. But if you are heading out the door soon, do be prepared for some wetter weather later on this evening. Expecting rain for the plains and a little more snow in the mountains, Jason.
Yeah, so we'll have some sloppy conditions up there right now. Here in town, basically dry anywhere you want to go, including here on I-76 right near Federal. Somebody's off to the side there, just an abandoned car, so just a hazard for you. But you can see on Federal, it looks pretty nice, as well as on I-76. We'll take a look at those drive times for you coming up.
President Biden says our economy is in recovery mode. We're taking a look at a big meeting today and how it could impact everything from your gas to your grocery prices.
And as your grocery bill gets higher and higher, we have a free way to help you learn to grow your own food.